Hello, my lovely anatomists and physiologists. Michele Glass here. We are right now finally finishing up chapter 17, endocrine system. This information is coming out of 17.10. There is quite a lot, and I'm going to try to just focus on the highlights. So what we're talking about here are we see hormones being produced not just from an endocrine gland. We see that several of our organs in our body will be producing hormones just as part of their function, but we don't consider the production of hormone to be like their primary job. For instance, when we think about the heart, we think about its job as pumping blood, but we're also going to see here that it's going to make a hormone called atrial natriuretic peptide, which is abbreviated ANP. And this is going to target the kidney. And this is going to help decrease sodium retention. And it's going to inhibit renin. And so then collectively, what we see happening is the atrial natriuretic peptide is going to decrease blood pressure. The stomach and the small intestine are going to be really important in helping to coordinate digestion. So we're going to see several hormones being produced here. So when we talk about the stomach and the small intestine, we're going to see gastrin, which is going to increase HCl production and stomach motility. So basically, it gets that stomach activated to do its digestion. We're going to see secretin is going to increase pancreatic buffers, but actually decrease stomach activity, including the production of hydrochloric acid. We have also here cholecystokinin, which is abbreviated CCK. And this one is going to increase pancreatic enzymes and then also increase release of bile from the gallbladder. Oops, bile. Now, I do want us to go ahead and start learning these hormones because it will help us in the future. So let's go ahead and start hearing about these now so that next time we talk about them, it's the second time through, and so we become more familiar. The kidney is going to be important in releasing this hormone called renin, and we've seen it mentioned up above. We're going to see that the renin is important in triggering what's described as the RAS system. And the RAS system stands for renin, angiotensin. Oh, wait a minute. I think it goes aldosterone and then angiotensin. No, it wouldn't. Angiotensin should be second and then aldosterone. And the job of this system is going to be to increase blood pressure. We've already mentioned calcitriol as a kind of companion to the parathyroid hormone. And this one is going to increase calcium absorption at the small intestine. And then we're going to be talking in an upcoming chapter about erythropoietin, which is abbreviated EPO, which is going to increase red blood cell production. There are a few hormones that are listed from bone. We have a fibroblast growth factor 23, and we have osteocalcin. These are listed and described for you in your textbook. We won't really talk about them again, so I'm not going to super emphasize those, but you can read about those. For adipose tissue, we're going to see 2 hormones released here, and I'm going to emphasize leptin. Oops. And I'm bringing up leptin here because it's helping us to feel satiated. And that's going to be our feeling of like being satisfied after a meal. And that's going to help us know when we're full and when to stop eating. So that's going to help to decrease our appetite. We also see that leptin is required for the production of GnRH. And so this means that you have to have a certain amount of adipose tissue in order to get the production of your gonadotropin releasing hormone, in order to get the adenohypophysis to make your FSH and your LH. So that means fertility. And in some cases, menstrual cycle is going to be linked to overall health of the body. So if you're starving because you don't have access to food, if you are lacking adipose tissue because of an eating disorder, if you are lacking adipose tissue because you're an extreme athlete, then you might see menstrual cycle not occurring. And so fertility can be connected to that. With the skin, let's mention again our vitamin D3, which is our inactive form of our calcitriol. So we have a connection there. And then let's go ahead for our thymus. Let's talk about your thymosins, which are going to be important in the development of T cells. The thymus is a gland that's located in your chest area, and it's a one that's really active in infancy and childhood. And then as we get older, it becomes more fibrous and less active. And this is the location where your white blood cell, called your T cell, so this is an important immune cell, is developing and maturing. And so we do see that we are developing these mostly at a young age, and we are making fewer new T cells as we get older, but we do keep our T cells throughout our life. And then in terms of the liver, there were 4 different ones that were listed for us. We won't really talk about many of these, but I think I'd like to go ahead and mention Angiotensinogen. Because this is a precursor to angiotensin. And angiotensin was mentioned up above in our RAS system. So I wanted to go ahead and mention that here. And I think these are the ones that I'm mostly interested in when we do talk about secondary endocrine organs, and then just knowing the complete list of what organs are considered secondary endocrine organs. All right. We finished our chapter 17. Please check your video descriptions for some additional resources, including a spreadsheet listing all of those hormones that you are required to learn, and a link to a Quizlet set that helps you to practice just your hormone name and abbreviation. Thank you so much. And as always, take care of yourselves and each other.